Hey guys, welcome. Today I actually wanted to record a little tutorial for myself. Sometimes when I figure stuff out, I like to record a little video so that I don't forget certain ideas on how to approach certain stuff. Today I was thinking on how to create actually a wheel, or not a wheel, a tire with a profile. And there are videos on YouTube, and the last attempt to create this thing like this was with a shrink wrap. Somebody made a video on this. It was a good video, nothing wrong with that. Just a little bit, for my taste, too confusing if you're like me, just want to create a very simple thing. So this is just created, it's not looking any near like it's, it's not a perfect thing, but you can actually modify this pretty simple, or you can create it very easily. And I was just playing Saints Row. I'm still in the game. I hope I can show this. And so I was watching at the tires here at the car, and I thought that I had an idea. So I created this very quickly, and I thought, why not share this? Why not uploading this into the internet? Although it's the first prototype. There will, in the future, probably I will make a better version of this. But, you can also do that for yourself. So how do we do that actually? It's pretty simple. It's just such an easy way. So what do we need? And we try to focus on being very simple. I used here modifiers, but it's not really necessary if I turn them off. Mirror modifier is necessary. And right click on this guy. So this is how it basically looks, which is also good if you wanna, have a good performance. Doesn't look too good, but also not too bad, I think. Okay, let's start. We're gonna need what do we need? Cylinder. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we're gonna rotate the cylinder 90 degrees in whatever direction you prefer. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you cut this thing in half. First, I should maybe explain this, huh? Okay, we go into the edit mode, and then we press Ctrl R, and then this thing will appear, and we press left click on the mouse and apply this one here, and then right click to leave it just like that. Now let's go into this menu. What is this called? Viewpoint Shading. Voila. And we just want to cut the whole thing in a half. So we're gonna select from the viewpoint. Sorry guys, this is not really a tutorial. I think I try to I'm not I think, how do I say that? How could I approach this? Consider this as a half tutorial, because I also have to learn on how to explain certain things, so bear with me. Okay, let's continue. We're gonna press on numpad 7 to go into the viewpoint port, now into the how is this called? What's that called actually? Top-down view, exactly. And then we're gonna select all those vertices on one side, whatever side you prefer. It really doesn't matter. And we delete the half of it. So now we have, like, if you go back to one of those menus, we have like a half cylinder, and this step now is very important. We need definitely a mirror modifier. So we're gonna choose add modifier, say mirror, and then nothing is mirrored. So experiment, it depends how you rotated it. One of those axes will work for you. So let's see, is it Y? No. Is it Z? Yes. Okay, then we can deactivate those guys. So it's obviously in our case the Z X, and that's fine. It really doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes people, they say which direction. Sometimes it matters, but in this case it doesn't. I believe so. Now we have like a kind of a cylinder again, so good job on that. We shrink this guy now. So let's go into the edit mode. We are going into from we press the free key, because then we will be in the phase edit mode, in the phase mode, where we can select phases. That's important. We can either left click on those stuff. Now we're in the what's that called, those guys, vertex selecting mode, which is good. Or what's that again? Edges, yeah, edge select mode. But now we want to make sure that we are in the phase mode, and you can either press the num3 key, num2 key, num1 key, or yeah, in our case num3 key to be in the phase mode. And now the important thing is that first of all we want to shrink this, we want to squeeze it a little bit so that it looks more like tire like. So we're gonna press we're gonna select this phase, we're gonna press G, X, no, sometimes in my case G, Z, to scale it here down. If you struggle, if you're like a beginner and you struggle with stuff like this, I think this option here in the edit mode, move, is always helping me, because then you can just select with the mouse, you know, get a little bit more control over your whole thing. Yeah, so I apologize, it's gonna be a little bit, you know, bear with me, I'm not really good at explaining things, now at least. Anyway, so we have this one, so far so good, it wasn't really that hard, I guess. And now what is very cool, so we can, you know, whatever you prefer, we can actually, you know what, let's squeeze this guy down. This is the first time I do this myself, and let's press E for extrude, right click, we leave it alone, and now we're gonna drag this guy here a little bit more, so that we have like one middle line if you want. This will be the middle line of our tire. So, and now we are deselecting everything, going to the top menu, but again, it doesn't really matter. Important is that you are happy with the view, and we're gonna press Alt, not Alt, Control and R, and we say left mouse click for apply and right for leaving it alone. And now we have another little cut here, which is good because we're gonna use that. So what we can do now is, and that's a very important thing, we are selecting phases pattern like. We tell Blender that I want to select this one, and now I'm holding Shift and pressed another one. So now we have selected two phases, and we also created unintentionally or intentionally a pattern which Blender can use and continue whatever you started with. So in this case we selected this one first and that one, and if we now hold Control Shift and we're gonna press the numpad plus key, then Blender continues automatically with your work. You gave it a direction, and when we press, we still hold Control and Shift, and if we press plus again, then you can see that it just continues endlessly to the point where we, you know, have a really good selected pattern. Yeah, we can also undo this kind of by still holding Shift and Control and only press the minus button, and it gets rid of the whole pattern thing. It just undoes the thing. I think so. Okay, so this so far so good. So now we have easily selected those phases for sure. And I already think you can either skip this part or not, depending on how good you are with Blender. If it's too confusing, ignore this, but you could also say you adjust those vertices to a certain group and assign, let's say group 1 is actually fine. So this is just maybe helping us later on, but if this is confusing you, never mind, it's not important, especially if you just learn Blender. This comes later, it makes all makes sense later on. Okay, we still have those guys selected. Now we're gonna want to extrude it in a different way. We're gonna press Alt E for extrude, and then we're gonna extrude phases along normals. This is I learned from somebody who creates YouTube videos with Blender. Makes like 10 minutes. I don't know his name, but he's really good and I like him very much. I got this from him. I don't know the name right now. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, we're gonna select this one here, and now we say extrude like that, and it already gives us a little bit of an idea of how a tire could look like. And you see, yeah, now we can play around with that. We can squeeze this a little bit. We press S, S and Y in my case, and now I make it like, you know, this is how I think a tire kind of looks like. But this is the point where I also need to practice this a little bit. I just simply figured this out today, that this could be an idea which I could use to work with, and there will be improvement on this probably over time whenever I create a tire. But it's very simple. It doesn't have to be too perfect. Just saying. Okay, and now maybe we're gonna select this guys here and do the same thing. First selected, then the second one we already have like a pattern, and now we continue by Shift, Control, Shift and plus. We can just, you know, hold endlessly the plus button and Blender selects like the whole pattern. Okay, again, Alt and E, now extrude along the normals. Oops, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, that's a weird thing here. So now we have this one and make it like that. And it kind of looks already like a tire. Not perfect. Again, you can, depending on the pattern you are using, depending on how many, I mean, it's your tire, you can, you know, important is the way how we approach that. I think this might be a good thing. It's also always good to give it already a little bit, at least to me, if you give it a little bit of an color, so I can imagine it better when I see it like myself. So this is a little bit rough, and what we need to is, when now we're gonna select this one here, we need to give it a, you know, this thing here, whatever this is called in the English language, bubble double, I say. And we're gonna press E for extrude and then scale it down with S, like this one here. And now E for extrude and whatever, scale it here or there, what you prefer, it's your tire. Again, E extrude, scale it down, and now this one here, and maybe we can just give it a little bit of a weird shape. Good. Also, we have selected this one here. Well, if we press now Control and plus, it selects the whatever is surrounding it, I believe. I believe so. I'm not so 100% sure. We'll give this a different color again. Color helps me at least to see it better, and this should look a little bit metallic like. So we're gonna increase this one here and decrease roughness and say assign, and it kind of looks like that, but maybe we need a little bit darker. And yeah, where is my light source here? I need a different light source, another light source. Oh man, it doesn't look really satisfying right now, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be too good. What have I done here? Let me check this out quickly. What did I use here? I didn't activate it metallic. Okay, well, I mean, later on, this can be later on optimized. For now, I just shall give you a good idea on how it will look like. Okay, so we have this one selected and that one. Let's squeeze this a little bit down. Could we do that? Oh yeah. Okay. Don't worry. I'm just undo everything. Here, I'm gonna select those guys and say again E extrude S down, and now like this one here. Okay. Well, we have already a kind of entire here, and this is, I believe, how you could work. I mean, not perfect, that's for sure, but you can continue doing those little pattern things, you know, until you are satisfied. You can make it probably like in this way. I think it's just so easy. Alt and E, the normals, Wait, this is also helping me. We have selected all the stuff. Insert phases is sometimes helpful when I press this one. That works fine too. Sometimes if you wanna, like for example, I undid this, if you wanna well, make this kind of things, if you wanna insert this or scale it down with S, then sometimes it works, sometimes it's actually not too bad actually. But if you just wanna extrude this guys here, in this case it even works here. Well, I still struggle sometimes with those stuff. Sometimes we have to do it individually or bounding boxes. I'm using them pretty often, but still in a way that I'm more like, if this doesn't work, I know this probably works. So that's how I work with Blender, like trial and error still. But this one here is very helpful because this, you have activated, insert phases. And you scale it down by dragging this little button in the middle here, this guy here, the yellow one. Then it scales down really accurate. So every corner, it's pretty accurate. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you can follow me. If not, yeah. And if we extrude this now and bring it into this direction, then we can scale it down by S again. How does this look? No, it looks like a badass tire. Not perfect, but it's something. If we wanna smooth this guy, then this looks not too bad, but also not really nice. Then we have to use a Bevel Modifier. But keep in mind, this probably comes with the cost of performance. So if you're just, looking for a very simple thing, then you can just leave it like that and maybe paint this a little bit. But yeah, there are certain different ways to approach this kind of things. If you use a Bevel Modifier, for example, we can also just say, let's see, absolute. I just need to see that right now. Now we have to smooth this one here, and then Bevel Modifier, %. Looks okay. You see, you can definitely kind of make it nicer, and later on you can also limit the vertices with the Bevel Modifier. For example, we can say Bevel Modifier shall be used only except in this area. So if you want to do that, we're gonna select all those areas here, go into the vertex. Yeah, we're gonna make another group. Let's say this is the inner tire. I don't know how to write tire for sure, so I just use the T. And if we now deselect everything and say select, then okay. So we have here inner tire. If we go into the modifier properties menu, we can limit the modifier. So we can tell Blender, please use this Bevel Modifier only for everything except those vertices we just named. And we say vertex group. Please use use this modifier except for the inner vertex group, which we just named. And so works. You can also make it vice versa or the other way around. So now, if this sometimes it looks like it doesn't really work, or what the heck is wrong, you can just make it the other way around. So now the opposite of that. And now this is affected, but this not. Man, I need to make better at it. I need to, well, I could understand if this is too fast or too confusing, but I will also get better on this. So let's see. Yeah, that's one way to make those tires. So now we have a little simple tire. I think that's so funny. You can experiment with that so much and then make it really whatever you prefer. Actually, I just want to play a little bit of Saints Row. And now I'm here. This happens pretty often when you do Blender. I believe so, I guess. So I don't know, because I only have never talked to another Blender guy who likes games. But what happens to me when I play games, I always look now on how things are made, because it's interesting, and what you realize is that heck have I done right now? Let me just get rid of that. I did something. Sometimes it's just easier to just get rid of stuff. What I realize is by using, since I use Blender, is that when I play games, I'll look always around on how edges and stuff are made, because if you want to have a little bit around the edges, because they look nicer, and you make them actually rounder, it comes with the cost of performance. But if you play games, you will see often that the edges are not really round, they're extremely sharp. But what they are doing, I believe, is using the bump texture very well, and they just paint it like it looks a little bit rounder, kind of like tricking you, because they have to, I guess, since games need a lot of performance, you know. And that's very interesting from a gamer perspective, I think. So because of that, I'm just playing, you know, Sensor or something, and then I think, oh boy, I want to test something, which I believe is a good thing. Okay, so let's make like this. Good. Shall we make another version quickly? Let's make another version. Okay, cylinder, very simple. And depending on how, you know, you can make your own kind of cylinder. I'm gonna rotate it like I like. Then so it's always good that, although don't want to explain, I think I cannot do that, but it's always good if you use a bevel modifier to cut things in half. It could work in a different way too, but this is just the most easiest and accurate thing you can do to use the mirror mode. Okay. Again, I think that is the right thing to do. Maybe another tip, if sometimes you have, let's just ignore this for now. Sometimes what I did at the beginning is, sometimes you have like a thing here, and you wanna cut this guy in half. So, and if we do that quickly, we just cut this thing in half, but it's when we activate now the modifier, the mirror modifier, nothing happens here so far. Oh no, it works. Okay, forget it. Never mind what I tried to say. I don't really know what I I remembered something, but it was probably different anyways. Yeah, so let's make another tire, this time a little bit, just a little bit slightly different. So first of all, we use this option here, because this is really, if you start with Blender, I think that is very helpful. And I forgot this here too, actually. Okay, now we have like, this is the inner tire. We're gonna press E for extrude, right click to whatever, and then we, you know, make this one. You could also use those guys here, but I don't want it to be too confusing right now. E to extrude, right click, and yeah. Oh, wait a second. Maybe, let me see. Yeah, let's leave it like that. And E to extrude. A little bit too much. Let's go back. This and E to extrude, and yeah, this looks good. Yeah. Okay, this looks different. Again, E to extrude, and I mean, this is something you. I'm not explaining these steps very well right now, but I think you can do that somehow. And if not, let me know. If you say, yeah, that sort of thing. If you think that, yeah, I mean, if you think I have a good idea, but it could not follow me like at all, and you wanna, I could make you want me to explain it a little bit better, slower and simpler, then let me know. I'm doing this, no problem. I'm recording a very slow, simple thing if I can. Okay. I'm just, you know, because this one here is also new to me, so I'm experimenting a little bit. Let's do the pattern thing again. So if you want to select this one and that one, you have to press Shift. If you press Control and selecting this one and that one, then it selects the whole thing. We don't want that. Okay, so this one, Shift, and that one, and now Shift and Control, holding, and then plus. So, okay, great. Then Alt-E, extrude phases at long normals. This is just, for some reason, it makes it, well, if you just, let's say I undid this, if I just say extrude, it still works. Sometimes it doesn't, so it's just experiment with it. Don't underestimate the Alt and E extrude part. It really can make a difference sometimes. I think, I do not know. I mean, oh, what the heck did I do right now? Oh boy. Anyway, never mind what I just said. This is just, in this case, definitely helps. Okay, Alt-E to extrude along the normals. So, and then we're gonna, maybe a little bit too much. Why is this working properly? Let's see. Don't worry what I'm doing right now. It's just yeah. Yeah, for some reason it works already fine, like it should. Let me just undo certain steps. Okay, go back to this one here. Got reselected all those patterns. Alt-E to extrude along the normals, and then just a little bit, yeah, slightly like this. And then S for scaling it just a little bit down. S and Y. No, it's fine. It looks already okay. Yes. Then let's give it a... I think later on what I really would do is make sure that I'm, if I want to make a really good tire, I would really recommend to use early already the vertex, to group already certain vertices, if you know what they do. Again, if you are new to Blender and you step by step, if something bothers you, if something, you know, try to ignore certain things and try to make your own version. It's sometimes I'll keep saying that because it's really like that. Sometimes it's at least for people like me, it's sometimes better to make an object you have seen in a tutorial in your own way, to try to reach it as close as possible, because you're always gonna learn something. Maybe you're not creating it like 100% like you have seen it in the tutorial, but you learn something and you getting close to it. So there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Oh boy, I like that. Hey, shall we make it glowing? Let's make it glowing. Glowing is always nice. Let's do that. Go into emission. Oopsala. Also there we are. I forgot it. We have to. Again, if you, this is very handy. So for shortcuts. Also a thing you learn over time. You at the beginning I did not remember the many shortcuts, and I still probably don't use most of them, which are probably very handy. But if you're not ready for that, if you're, sometimes it makes you see it, somebody is using it, and then you see, that's how it works. So, and well, step by step, I guess. Okay, this wants to be select, then we press Control and plus again, and now we say give it a. Yeah, I think I didn't even explain that. Yeah, I think if I make a tutorial like a proper, I should really keep all the stuff in mind here. Anyways, image, emission, I think emission. Okay, make it blue, shiny. And now it looks a little bit blue. Isn't that nice? I think so. Now we can smooth this guy again. And just activate the Bevel Modifier. it's not necessary that you need that, you know. Again, it's a personal taste thing for me right now. Wanna see. Yeah, this looks nice. And then we're gonna select all the rims and give it a thing. Let's group is fine, or let's again rename this guy inner T, inner Mr. Let's make it Mr. T. Mr. T, inner Mr. T. Yeah, looks good. Go and say good. Looks strange, right? Let's see if this helps. Yeah, it helped. Okay, now the Bevel Modifier uses every vertex except what we selected. Yeah, and we have a different tire. And now I realize that we can, well, we can do more. Yeah. What else could we do? I also have seen, yeah, sometimes it doesn't work anymore for some reason. Probably, I don't know. It kind of makes sense. Probably because we could not use the pattern follow mode, because maybe they are kind of separated because they are not really connected to the other surface. So that's why later stuff like this is coming in handy. If we make another group and call this surface like this, then we can use that. Okay, so wait, no. Look at that. That's interesting. Yeah. Again, it doesn't look perfect, but we could also just already, what we did not do is we could have used a higher starting. Oh, this looks pretty good actually, like a tractor tire. We could have used, you know, if you get like if you get an sphere, no nonsense, cylinder, we can give him a little bit more details. You see the vertices here, we can increase that, and I think depending on how many you use, the more detailed it'll be. And then when you cut and stuff like this, you can, you know, very simple speaking, the more details you put, I don't know. We could make it more detailed. That's what I try to say. Okay, let's select those guys here, because I want to see. Let's press E for extrude along the normals and say, that looks good. Let's squeeze this a little bit. Yeah, we should maybe only activate the rim here. This is a very convenient thing, the pattern thing. First time I figured out, I've seen the video, somebody used it, and I thought, boy, that is so helpful, so drastically helpful, that I was very happy about that. Oh, we made a mistake. I only wanted to, I see. Oh, we should maybe undo the whole thing. I don't want to have like, oh, we cannot undo those stuff anymore. Well, then let's see, select this again. Yeah, this side here is not exactly in the middle, so that would be a problem, but only if we would have aim for 100% accuracy, which is okay right now because we're still experimenting with that. Okay, let's activate those guys. Wait, this time, I think that's why this is very handy, coming handy. Let's just press E for extrude and then S scale it down. You can see it looks a little bit more detailed. And we don't really need, I undo this thing, extrude, nonsense. Okay, Alt and E, let's see. Along the normals here, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, try to make it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's something. Not perfect. Yeah, this doesn't work either. Select. Oh. That's why, in case you don't use that, but that's why I think you are mostly, it's coming handy if you create vertex groups. But I worked a long time without those stuff. Simply, I could not really, it just overwhelmed me. If it's overwhelming, again, it's not good to punish yourself by when you feel like I'm not getting it, what the heck is going on? It's not your fault. So it's your fault if you blame yourself for not understanding. That's your fault. You shouldn't do that. You cannot possibly understand all at once. In this case, if you don't understand, though, it's my fault because I did a very poor job on explaining, but whatever. So, yeah, spikes. Mm. Well, that's an interesting tire. I don't like the, oh, you know what? The shiny stuff is actually okay. There's also like a color select. Let's use this quickly. We can select this one here and then select all the colors here. That's fine. But I wanna create this one shall be more metallic looking like. Okay. Maybe too shiny a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know what? I think we should. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Select. Yeah, that's better. So, I mean, the shiny thing, there is always space for stuff like that, that's for sure. But for now, it's not helping me. Hey, it's something, I guess. Wait. Hey, and now we can actually see. Now we have this thing here. Hoopsala. That's a weird tire, huh? So if we apply the modifier now, we're gonna make a backup copy. Though it's not that nice. We can easily reproduce it now. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing about this video. It's that I say this also when because it's really handy. If you learn Blender and you have an idea and you create something and it works out well, that's good. But if you leave it for a while because you work on a different project, for example, I always work on different projects because my interest shifts. But if I don't create a tire like this for a month or a half year, I will forget on how I did this. So usually I record for myself, and you can do this for yourself. There's no problem in that. You know, download the recording software and make your own private video tutorial or remember video. And then I would recommend you record your tutorial for yourself. You talk to yourself and tell yourself how you did everything. And then you make sure that the video is not too big, and you're gonna put the video into the same Blender folder where you created it. So in this case, I would create a video file, would name it how to make tires for myself, and then I would put this into the Blender file, so that when I come back, can look at the video and see, this is how I did this, you know. And then I realized this is completely nonsense. I should never do it like that. You know. Okay. So what else? Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna apply the thing here. No, we don't. Let's make here apply. No, we don't. Because we cannot apply stuff when we're in the edit mode. Applying things is either when you go on this thing or you press Ctrl A. You have to hover with the mouse over that. It doesn't work here. So you have to press Ctrl A when you are with the mouse here. And then this is applied. So now we have like a one object, a solid object. And now we can actually make this guy. And you see what I mean? We have this guy here. But the question is, how do we connect those guys? Well, the answer is pretty simple. I just realized we don't have to. We're gonna select this thing and say mesh. Although do we? Let me just think for a second. I think, what if now we can actually use the modifier again. That's interesting. Let me just see. Yeah. Yeah, there is a way. This is, but I think a stupid way when I want to do it like that. I mean, this approach I'm gonna do, I would not recommend that, because it probably, if you want to work accurate, probably I think it could lead to some problems. But I just want to see it for now, so I don't want to think on the perfect way right now. But let's use this here. We're gonna use the modifier, and now we're gonna change the center point of our object approximately here, so that it still kind of connects. And now we say clipping. Is this working out? Merge. Yeah. Okay, that's a quick solution. Again, you don't have to follow that. Now we have, like, look at this. Isn't that not something? I mean, if we go now to the if we go to, you know what, let's make a quick animation here. Let's say yeah, I completely gave up on explaining things, but you know, again, if you want me to explain something, tell me what you would like to see, and then I try to make it then easier. And keep in mind, I'm not an expert. I'm still learning those stuff too. So we have like a little animation here. Let's go into the graph animation. Yeah, let's make another animation thing here. And we don't need this thing here. So we go into the thing on how to make tires. I'm actually done with this now. I'm gonna just quickly experiment. I just want to make, I kind of forget how to make an endless rotation. I want to remember that again. That's the reason I do this right now. I think graph editor was that, and then pos position 1 key is always bringing us into the middle of the screen. So if we select this one, I believe, and then we open this window here, modifier cycle, let's see. But it works only there that's you know, it's accelerating and stopping, accelerating and stopping. How was this? How did I solve this? I believe with maybe constant, maybe. Well, it was interpolation mode linear, maybe. Yeah, this one I kind of forgot how this works. It doesn't. Maybe we have to select everything. Maybe then. F curve modifier. No. Const. I completely destroyed it. Good job. Yeah, this is a while ago. Since this is what I meant. Sometimes when you stop doing it for a while, I mean Blender, and then you kind of struggle from time to time. You will struggle because you will forget stuff a little bit. It's not free. Maybe we have to change it in here. No, not really. This is something different, I believe. Yeah, you will forget some steps, so it's always good to record something. But it's also sometimes not bad to figure it out again. So weird. I really thought this is the way to go. Oh, this is not the solution. Restrict this also. Use influence. Maybe this one? No, I think it was really the interpolation mode has to be changed. You know, I wait for the course here to change when I change this stuff, but nothing really happens. It's so weird. Maybe I really have to select everything. Interpolation mode constant. I have to select everything. I really do have to select everything. Well, then try linear. No. Try. Yeah. I know there was something coming with this too, but oh no, this is just repeating it before and after. I see. Has nothing to do with that. No, I don't remember how this worked, unfortunately. Maybe like this. I'm looking for a certain exponential, I believe. Was it that? No. No. Or maybe because I use influence. Oh boy, I changed something. I have to right click and reset to default. Yeah, the graphic modifier is really the one. It's a simple thing, but I say, oh wait a second, maybe. No, should be fine. A constant. Maybe I have to make it here exponential. No, I completely screwed the whole thing up. What the heck have I done? What have I done? Let's do this again. Good, let's go back to maybe. I know. I did this. Oh, wait. I think I have to only change those values, maybe. Let's go back to 0. Let's do this again. 0. You know, not is it really, it's not important for here, right, for this one here, right, at all. It's just so interesting right now. Good, let's see. Let's make this one here cycle. It still looks like that. Interpolation mode. Interesting. Interpolation mode. Yeah, those stuff is really weird to me. Well, okay, interpolation mode, constant. Let's try this one here. Nothing happens. Interesting. Very interesting. Also, why is this here? What the heck? Stage mode, constant. Oh, weird. This was the solution. See, that was what I was talking about. I see it now. Repeat with offset. Here we go. This was what the guy was talking about. Now it's completely messed up because I changed so many different values, I think. But at least I remember it right now. Okay. Well, let's just, you know, to make it properly, let's get rid of this thing. It's just easier. It's so much easier. Okay, let's go. Say this one is 0 and press E. Let's go to 50. It's a good value, I think so. Like this one here. Okay, now we're gonna go into this menu. So when we are using cycles now and say repeat with offset. Oh no, this is before. That doesn't really matter. Afterwards, repeat with offset. Then it repeats endlessly, I think. Yeah. But it also accelerates and stops, accelerates and stops. And I think this really has to, okay, I just wanted to see this linear thing. Whatever it is doing, it's definitely not making it constant. But now it's a question. Is this helping us already? Do we have to do it here, or is it sufficient to do it here? So let's try this one. Bezier, it's used. Where is this one here? Okay, let's try linear. It still makes this kind of, let's make it constant. Yeah, maybe. Okay, maybe we have to activate both and say constant. Okay, let's make this one here easier. Good, then let's say, and then constant. Interesting. Very interesting. Here we go. That's what I was looking for actually. So now we have, like, you see, it's yeah, I believe it's constant now. Maybe it's not complete. I'm not so sure about it, but no, it looks like there is no. No, it is. It looks kind of like it would stop because our animation is ending here. But technically, if I go to, you know, let's say we're gonna end the whole animation at frame 6000, it should look pretty good now without any interruptions whatsoever. So this is what I was looking for, the I wasn't, you know, again, this video is just made because I would record it for me anyways, and at the same time I try to practice a little bit explaining some stuff, which well, it's also a little bit hard without feedback. Yeah. What do I try to say? I don't know. Exactly. That I was actually just looking for how to make the tires, and then I wanted to do something which I didn't remember so well anymore. So I really wanted to remember it again, and that's what that's part of the whole Blender stuff. Yeah. So now we have whatever this is. Good, guys. I hope it was maybe entertaining, at least, if not educational, then entertaining. If I mixed up some words, that's because I'm learning English, probably for the rest of my life, and I mix up some words all the time. I even do this in my natural language, however, not that often. So it's probably always going to be a part of my talking here. Good. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Stay safe. We see us. Bye bye and auf Wiedersehen.